headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bliss,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is a news review. Right here, we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news. From business to politics, from sports to entertainment, we got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. Remember that we are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on X at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio. I am your host, Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu, and I'll be doing this morning with Miss Regina Bliss and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. Miss Debbie. How are you?
Good.
I'm fine. Why are you sleepy? Are we experiencing shorter day, longer nights, or longer night, shorter day?
I guess longer day, shorter night.
I thought it was just.
Yeah, damn them.
See, we are experiencing longer day, shorter nights. That one day, no doubt about that.
But at least if you sleep early.
You sleep. The early is what time? No, the early is what time?
By 6.
Hey,
In bed.
6 now.
By 6, I feel na obimpo. Ya na just all packing in yama.
Was it parky?
About 7 na. We're packing your money. About 8 now. We free apartment.
Me say 6 no. I feel as all kind news near you. What's that?
6 no more. I thought by 5:50 something. Now we.
No way. Maybe I says, but I feel so like she's now closing the laptop and getting ready to get up. So
that's talking as if she's not here.
So that says there, for some people it will not work for them, but for some people it will work for them. They'll have to wake up maybe midnight and they'll eat. Some people I know what Indomie.
What is that?
Right. Let's delve into our news items for this morning. Local government minister criticizes Akufo-Addo administration over weak decentralization. The Minister for Local Government, Ahmed Ibrahim, has criticized the previous government led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, accusing it of leaving behind a weak decentralization system. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, he said the current administration under John Dramani Mahama inherited a local governance structure that lacked adequate funding and was not functioning effectively. According to him, this affected the ability of metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies to deliver services and carry out development projects. He also raised concerns about the management of the district assembly's common fund, alleging that transfers to assemblies were irregular and often less than 50% over several years. Mr. Ibrahim further claimed that the previous administration failed to provide consistent guidelines on how the fund should be used, which he says goes against the requirements of the law. Beyond the criticism, the minister outlined new measures to improve accountability and sanitation. These include providing motorbikes to sanitation officers, introducing monitoring systems, and setting up call centers for the public to report sanitation issues. He says the new system will help improve transparency and ensure local officials are assessed based on real conditions in their communities. So yesterday during the government accountability series, we heard from the Minister for Local Government, Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim, and he raised a concern and criticized the previous administration led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and accusing them of leaving behind a weak decentralization system. Ms. Debbie, how is this expected to work actually, the decentralization system?
So we know that the assembly has their role to play, and their role is not supposed to be interfered by, say, the other authorities. So sometimes they decentralize certain, should I say, positions, or I don't know how to put it. They decentralize. I don't want to use position, but I'm not getting the word. Sorry.
Break them down into smaller.
Yes, so that the assembly can take it over. So let's take, for instance, sanitation issues. For instance, you don't expect the member of parliament in your area to come down and then do this work for you. It is supposed to be done supervised by the assembly, and also ensure that the right thing is being done. So what the Minister for local government is saying is that during the previous administration, the necessary funds that were supposed to be given to this local assembly to function effectively, they were not getting it, and so they were not able to execute their mandate. So in as much as sometimes we feel like the assembly do not really have work to do and all that, but don't forget that 90% of the job is done by the assembly. And so that is why we have the common fund. The common fund goes to the coffers of the assembly, and then they use it for development in the local level. So if the assembly does not get the needed fund, it makes the work so difficult. Okay, so even I remember some time ago they wanted to this was he teaching that they wanted, no, there was this oh goodness, there was this recruitment that they wanted to decentralize for the assemblies to even take over.
I think teacher.
Yes, before they post someone to the local community and all that. And just as we are all saying, I mean, the assembly cannot function without money. They cannot function where they are not being supported. And so yesterday he even stated that it was just last year the NDC government gave out some money or sourced these assemblies with the needed amount they ought to get, so that they can function in their various positions in the local level. So it should tell you that the assembly, as we see it, cannot function when they don't get the needed resources to do so. So we might feel like they are not working, but they need all this thing to function. So let's take the Zoom Lion. First, we have a company that oversees this whole thing, but there were some pop-up issue that came about with embezzlement of money with the Zoom Lion, and it has been handed over to the assembly. So right now, if this has been handed over to the assembly, it means that the assembly must oversee that the right thing is being done, and then the money that this Zoom Lion workers are supposed to get, they get it. But imagine they don't get it. Area Hobby feel, it doesn't mean that they are not doing it, but it's because they've not gotten what they want to get. So for me, I feel like what the NDC is doing, or what this previous administration is doing, in a way, for me, it's good. But I think yesterday he also mentioned that, I think he said 44% of this assembly members fail to reach the target.
Yeah.
So in as much as they give you the money, they also give you a target you are supposed to hit.
Alright.
If you don't hit it, there will be some consequences you have to
KPI.
face.
It's KPI rather. Not alright. Right. Ms. Gina, at this time in our governance, do you think that we should focus on criticizing what the previous administration didn't do, or we should just proceed and solve the problem?
Okay, so I would say we've passed the stage of criticizing the past administration, because how many months and year now? I think we've already gone ahead to exhaust almost 1 year, and we are about to exhaust another 1 year.
We are almost done.
We are almost even done. So criticizing the current administration, I would say per my opinion, it's a no for me. We should contribute to the success of the economy. We should make sure that we contribute solutions and not add to the problem. In as much as we need to hold these people accountable, I feel like at that time and era, you shouldn't have blamed anyone. Just give your solution. Oh, due to one or two reasons, this was not able to be accomplished. So here are the things we can do to make sure that everything runs smoothly. But when you go ahead and blame other administration, mind you, that is where the politicization comes in. I wouldn't be surprised if the NDC leaves party day, when the MPP comes, they'll also keep on politicizing everything. I feel like the NDC should set an example to the NPPs. They should set a very crucial example to a point where the NPPs will even feel bad when they try to politicize it. But at this time, everyone is doing it. Even those who preach against it do it. So there's nothing that can be done about it.
Right. He also raised concerns about the management of the district assemblies common fund, alleging that transfers to assemblies were irregular and often less than 50% over several years. Do you think that they should take it upon themselves, or would you suggest that there should be proper or stricter monitoring when it comes to funds being allocated to these people?
Okay, so when it comes to funds being allocated, as you said, they need to be monitored with strictness. This is not strictness blended with flexibility. It has to go fully with iron hands. But before they do that, they need to find the root cause of it. They also need to make sure that the then people who were in administration, they need to communicate with them and also make sure that they account for it. One thing I know is before you leave PA, you need to make sure that you account to the person, like your friend was saying, predecessor.
Yeah.
And I said the next of kin. Let me put it that way. Right. You need to make sure that you account to him. Let's say a finance minister. You oversaw project, you pumped money into projects, you allocated money to all the ministries. Before you are leaving, you need to make sure that you give all the full details, accounts, documents to the other person coming. Oh, this is what we did. This is the money we had. This is what we spent. This is what these people are owing, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like they don't do it that way. That is why we still have inconsistency and irregularity when it comes to this finances. And also with the under-resourced, I don't know how they'll go about it, but they need to make sure that they check the money that comes in and also the people that get the money. Because we always say it's then it's very tiny. So when it comes to these local governments, they need the funding. They really do need the funding because they serve as an intermediary between us and the government, and they also draw the government closer to us.
Yeah.
So if they do not have the resources to fund the sanitation, maintain the roads, the basic things like electricity, water, they don't have the funds to do that. We will continue to suffer. Like this area, every day they are complaining of water. It is the duty of the assembly to see to it.
He also claimed that the previous administration failed to provide consistent guidelines on how the funds should be used, and which he says goes against the requirements law. And I'm wondering how they will be able to check this if you haven't given them a consistent guidelines. You finish using a specific money and it's your responsibility to actually account for it. You have to provide receipt for it. as to how you actually use it, if you're on the right track. And I think that is one thing that the previous administration didn't do, and we are hoping that this current administration don't also follow that same footsteps. Right, let's proceed to our next news item. Government reports monthly allowances for paramount chiefs and queen mothers. The Minister for Local Government, Ahmed Ibrahim, has announced a major increase in monthly allowances for traditional leaders across the country. According to him, allowances for paramount chiefs and queen mothers have been increased from 1,000 to 3,000 Ghana cedis, a 300% raise. He explained that the previous administration under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo maintained the 1,000 Ghana cedis allowance for several years without adjustments. The minister said the new increment introduced under the government of John Dramani Mahama is meant to recognize the important role traditional leaders play in governance and community development. He added that the move reflects government's commitment to supporting chiefs and queen mothers in their work at the local government level. And when I saw this news, one question that popped into my mind was, what role do these traditional leaders actually play in our governance? Ms. Debbie.
They played a very significant role. So let's look at this. So customary law and dispute resolution. So we've seen instances where chiefs court settle land, family, chieftaincy disputes using customary laws, and that is being deemed as quite faster and cheaper than using the formal court. So when you come to a local setting, sometimes when you have issue, family issue, or maybe even a land dispute, they see the chief first, and then sometimes after the chief is done resolving it, when it's beyond the chief, then now they bring in higher authority. But most often, these issues are solved at the local level. They see the chief. The chief we believe that aside the president, the next authority in power should be the chief, because we believe they have this kind of wisdom and knowledge that they use in governing the people. Just like the president governs all citizens of Ghana, the chief also governs his or her community. So in a way, they also add up to the development of the country. Now, the resolve conflicts, we saw that of Boku and then Muslim Asantehen Otunfo Tutu. When the issue was tense, President Mahama has to call in Asantehen, and then he has to step in. And as it stands now, have you heard anything from Boku? No. We know that there is still a bit of misunderstanding, but it's not tense like the way it used to be, because an authority has stepped in. They listen to chief. They know that the chief, anytime he speaks, he has this commanding authority. Or he need be a new basa. I don't know whether you've seen. Have you seen chiefs? It is only a abnormal chief that engages in politics. They don't. You don't hear a chief speaking on even national issues. It's once in a while, because they know that they carry some sort of power. They carry themselves with some sort of integrity to draw and also attract the trust of the people, so that in case there is a misunderstanding or something, they run to the chief first. And then let's look at undeveloping communities. When you go to remote communities that are so impoverished, chiefs use their own money to build schools for these communities. When you go to some communities, the chief plus his elders use their own money to build chief's compound for these students. So yesterday when I saw that thing, I was like, why would the government be paying chiefs and queens? What did they do? Then at the second thought, I was like, no, this is right, because no one pays the chiefs for using his or her own money to develop the community. So it is good that once in a while the government tip them with something.
Allowances.
This is to motivate.
Yeah.
Mind you, the money the government is giving them is not more. It's not more than what they are doing, but it's just to encourage them that, look, you are doing great thing, and then we appreciate you. So I feel like it's good. Community development, mobilizing people and resources and all that. As I said, development advocacy. So many chiefs also lobby with NGOs, government officials to bring in developmental projects to the country. We have chiefs that have connection with big companies outside the country. Me and Komechikra, I'll still use Asante Hin.
So does that mean Asante Hin will also be taking 3,000 as allowance?
It says they said all chiefs, so he's included.
He's a king.
So that is what I'm saying, that the money the president is giving them, you can't and so on. But it's I say, what yes, yeah, and no, but we just want to tell you that continue to do that because we appreciate your efforts and then we know what you are doing. Inka, Asante, he's no bigger than 3,000. He sponsors people for free tertiary school and all that. So I should tell you that 3,000 BB can come on, but just that the government wants to show them that they are seeing what is going on in these various communities. So these chiefs, they have connection with big companies, big people. They come into the country, they survey the country. They survey the community. Maybe this community, they are lacking water, they are lacking proper school building or structure. They don't have toilet facility, and then the lobby, they come on board and then they build, and they also lobby from with the politicians. Oh yeah, anyway, or member of parliament, this is what we don't have and all that, and then they come in. And most of these chiefs are also whistleblowers, especially when it comes to Galamsey. Mind you, in as much as we know that 99% of some chiefs are into it, 10% they are not, and some of them are whistleblowers. They tip the government of what is going on in the country. And most of these chiefs sometimes even speak against drug abuse, prostitution, and all that. They bring in people. They talk to their shall I say their subject? Subordinates, and the community they are ruling on. They educate these people on drug abuse, on prostitution, and all that. So the chiefs and the queens, they are doing marvelously well. The money is not enough, but it's good. At least they have this kind of trust and assurance in the government that if the government is doing this, then it means that he can give us more than that. It's not enough, but it's encouraging.
It's not enough, but it's encouraging. Miss Regina, looking at us as a country, our economy is this, our economy is that. Should we be using public funds to actually be financing these people? Or you see nothing wrong with that?
Okay. So when it comes to these traditional leaders, I would say they act as a bridge between the people and the government. And they also play a significant role when it comes to development of the community. And as Debbie said, they sometimes dip their hands into their own personal monies and enhance the community or develop the community, and they'll also communicate the needs of the community to the government. They serve as an intermediary. They also advise the government when it comes to local issues. So in as much as we are facing difficulties in our economy, we are facing difficulties when it comes to finances, I feel like they still deserve what is due them, in as much as it's little, but nothing is too little when it comes to appreciation. And also she made an example when it comes to Asante Hene. Mind you, Asante Hene is a very big in fact he's a king, and if aside John Dramani Mahama, we can boldly say that he is the next of king, the second largest human. So just imagine him. He owns billions of cedis. So imagine him taking 3,000 cedis a month.
We can call it an insult.
Yeah, and how much will you give us or chiami?
Exactly. So it's just like you giving a rich man 200 cedis. Oh, then pachache kakra. Do you never fashion?
I rather buy fruit.
Exactly. So it's better you buying something that even with that it would even be more appreciated. But looking at what we are facing currently, I feel like that is the little they can do. because mind you, we have government workers that are not even, some people are still not even taking 3,000 cedis a month, but at least we know that they are satisfied but not 100% satisfied compared to what they were taking. So when it comes to the 3,000 cedis, we are facing it as a country, but that is the little we can also do. But mind you, I feel like some of the chiefs are not doing anything.
They're not doing anything.
Some of the chiefs are not doing anything,
especially those in the villages.
Nothing.
Say they are not contributing anything to it.
They are the right people to stop it, to at least intercede on the government's behalf. But a bit more homatiada, they are rather fueling it. They are indulging in it, and at the end of the day, you are still paying them 3,000. To me, the government should go to all the communities, investigate them. If you are part of the chiefs that are fueling galamsey, they should take you off. At least that 3,000 cedis can go a long way when it comes to other sectors that are lacking behind.
Yes. Right. So the 3,000 there is not deserving, but it is deserving. That is what the governments can also do to say thank you and to appreciate our local chiefs for the contribution they bring to government and also to our communities. Right. Let's proceed. Ghana's democratic credentials under attack, Baumia. Flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party (NPP), Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, says Ghana's democracy is under threat, accusing the government of intimidating critics. He made the remarks during a meeting with party executives from the Bono region, following the arrest of party member Abubakar Yakubu. Dr. Baumia alleged that state institutions are being used to suppress dissent and limit freedom of expression under the government of President John Dramani Mahama. He urged party communicators to remain firm, outspoken, and focused on facts, adding that intimidation should not silence them. Also present at the meeting was the NPP national organizer Henry Nana Boache, who assured that party members would remain resolute despite what he described as growing pressure. The party has announced plans to stage a demonstration in Sunyani on April 22nd, theme Yensuro Ehunuhunu Demo, to protest what it calls attacks on freedom, on free speech and democratic values. So this is from the NPP, led by Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and also the national organizer Henry Nana Boache, and they'll be staging a demonstration God willing tomorrow in Sunyani, that President John Dramani Mahama is suppressing the people that critique his government. He's suppressing them, and this is actually impeaching on their rights, freedom of speech, free speech. And so Baumia had to say that Ghana's democratic credentials under attack. Mr. B.
Baumia is supposed to be the last person to speak on freedom of speech, because during his government we saw citizens being suppressed, of not giving them the free will to speak their mind. We saw the media being prevented from speaking freely. We saw instances where journalists were beaten. We saw one in Tamale where the tax went in and then they mercilessly beat the host. And then one at Metro TV, this journalist that was it Good Morning Ghana?
That was Randy
Abbey.
Yeah,
he was beaten. We saw that of Zoya Bubedu of City TV. We saw Caleb Kuda of City TV. A lot of them. Your bunko for your papa, easy. And then people even went on demonstration. We saw instances where the demonstration over Kwabani at church. I said, obey them 3 days.
So why they complain?
So I don't know why they are complaining. That's why I'm saying that Baumia is the least person I expect to speak about freedom of speech, because they never gave us the freedom to speak. You couldn't even speak. You are scared because you're chill. They did it to a lot of people. They did it to this guy, Johnny's Bite, Johnny Hughes.
Yeah,
they did it to him. They did it to Captain Smart.
Yeah,
because he was speaking against the government. They
did it to Sammy Jemfi.
They did it to Sammy Jemfi.
UTV.
Yes. So listen, if you're a president or you're an appointee and then you don't do what you're supposed to do, we will speak about it because the media, we are watchdogs. Our own is to monitor and then ensure that the promises you made, you fulfill it. So when you don't fulfill it, we will hit on your back. We'll continue hitting. So the right thing is being done. But what we saw during the MPP administration was something else. And then I will personally say that President Mohammed's government is one of the governments that we've experienced with the media having the freedom to speak. When President Mohammed came to power for his first time, and then the media at the attempt of President Mohammed Anje, they did all that, but President Mohammed never said a thing. No one was attacked. When Akufo-Addo came in, he showed them mafia. And then now you are bold enough, you're not even ashamed. You came on speaking that they are threatening you and it's undermining democracy. How is it undermining democracy? I want to know. I want you to come and explain further to us how it's affecting our democracy. If you are an appointee and you are insane, they will arrest you because you don't behave as a sane human. Tell me why a government official will go and sit on radio and then you'll be lying. Someone like Asefua, he needs to be arrested. You will come and be making points without evidence.
And nobody has picked him up.
No one will speak. No one will talk about it. You don't come out. See, I feel like as a government official, you should know your place. What an ordinary citizen would do, you are not supposed to do it. You are supposed to correct the ordinary citizen. But right now, Adani it's vice like Adani. You are doing the wrong thing, and then you are paving the way for the rest to follow. And then after you are being held by your own words, you are coming to tell us that they are intimidating you. Who is intimidating you? When you do the right thing, no one will intimidate you. Imagine I just wake up one day and then I peddle falsehood against you. As someone making, I don't have evidence. So right now when I'm being questioned, what am I saying? You don't just come out to speak because you want to be heard or because you want people to know that I'm also here. Like I need to be noticed. No. When you do that, your credibility reduces. That is what we are seeing with the MPP. The earlier for them, the better. Because what they are doing, they are mocking themselves. It was worse during the administration.
Right. So if you ask these questions, one thing the NPP person or the NPP communicator will say that, but insulting the president or mocking the president is not against our laws. But per my research this morning, according to the laws of Ghana, insulting or mocking the president is no longer a specific criminal offense. That means that previously it was, but now it's no longer a specific criminal offense. The law was previously criminalized. This act, section 183A of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 at 29, was officially repealed in 2001. Before 2001, section 183A made it a crime to publish any defamatory or insulting matter with the intent to bring the president into hatred, ridicule, or contempt. But this law was actually repealed. And guess who actually repealed this law? The law was repealed in 2001 by the new Patriotic Party government led by former President John Ejekum Kufuor. The primary architect and champion of the repeal was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was the Attorney General and Minister of Justice at the time. So he repealed this law. He made the repeal a major campaign promise during the 2000 elections and signed the final bill in law on August 2nd, 2001. So Nana Addo Dankwa, as Attorney General, he drafted a bill and piloted its passage through Parliament, arguing that criminalizing speech was inconsistent with Ghana's 1992 Constitution. But during his tenure, as Ms. Debbie said, a couple of people were actually picked up for making mockery or even creating a meme against the president, which was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But you are doing same to this current administration, and they pick you up, and then you are saying that they are impeaching your right. Miss Eugenia, after repealing the law, and during your tenure, you picked up people. Your people are doing it in this current administration. They are being picked up, and then you are complaining that freedom of speech. But the police people, if they are going for the people, do they know they are NPP or they are NDC? I think they are there to do their jobs.
They are going for which people?
If they are going to pick up these people who pass defamatory comments against our public officials, do they know they are NPP or they are NDC?
Oh, so long as
Or there's a tattoo for...
No, if you break the law, then there is nothing like your NPP and NDC. The law will deal with you.
So where is the backlash coming from? Miss Eugenia.
The backlash is coming from these politicians who tend to politicize everything. As communicators, you can give a valid and reasonable point without criticizing, or in fact, you can even criticize without passing false information, without using harsh words, without using derogatory comments on another. We've seen instances where these communicators come to sit in this same studio, and nipa say, oh, what word did I even use? You've lost your credibility. They will tell you, say, I demand an apology. Retract that statement.
Oh, good. You've been very observant.
Oh, but these same people will sit on national television, will sit on radio stations, will sit on social media and insult these politicians. It's wrong. The fact that we practice freedom of speech in this country doesn't give you the veto power to just, excuse me to say, open your mouth, and start talking. Excuse me, like you lack home training. See, most of these people talking, they lack home training. Because there's no way as a normal and disciplined human being you talk against an adult. You go as far as using bad words. State your point. Mahama has done this. Mahama has done that. Nana Addo has done this. Nana Addo has done that. Baumi has done this. Afenyomakin has done this. Majority leader has done this. Say it, what they've done. Provide evidence on what they've done. Don't speak per assumptions. Don't speak per what you are feeling. When it comes to a communicator job, we speak per evidence. You don't speak because of what you are feeling, the sentiment within you. No, we don't do that.
Right.
But these communicators, that is what they do. They don't do any investigations, nothing. Then you just talk. And we've seen some of these politicians, both the NDC and the MPP, also doing it. We wouldn't exclude the NDC, we wouldn't exclude the MPP. Both of them, they are part. Together, they are one.
They are one. Thank you so much. On that, we'll actually be discussing on that particular issue on our second segment of the show. So if you want to hear more, make sure you stick with us. Thank you so much for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Today in history and some global observances live on GhanaTalks breakfast show. On this day, 1930, prisoners left to burn in Ohio fire. Ohio. 322 inmates were killed in a fire at the Ohio State. The prison had been built for 1,500, and at the time of the fire, it held 4,300. It long had the reputation of unspeakable cruelty. On this day, 1926, Queen Elizabeth II was born on this day in London, England, at 17 Bruton Street, Mayfair. The daughter of the Duke and Duchess of York, later King George and Queen Elizabeth, she was born a princess but not expected to be a queen until her uncle abdicated in 1936. She reigned for 70 years. To some few global observances, Keep Off the Grass Day, to promote the preservation, protection, and appreciation of lawns and green spaces. This day encourages people to stay off designated grassy areas, allowing them to remain lush and undisturbed. So this is a day for people who abandon the bare roads and walk on people's green and grassy areas. Keep off it. National Surprise Drug Test Day. It is celebrated often in HR, law enforcement, or corporate circles for several reasons: workplace safety and policy enforcement. It serves as a reminder to maintain a drug-free workplace and prompts companies to perform random screenings to ensure employees are not under the influence. So today is a day for employers to make sure that they organize a free surprise drug test today. Just barge into offices and start testing your employees, because mind you, they might probably be under the influence of drugs. Lastly, World Creativity and Innovation Day, to raise awareness about the crucial role of creative multidisciplinary thinking and innovation in problem solving, achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and driving economic growth. It encourages people to use new ideas to make the world a better place. So today is a day for you to be creative. Leave that comfort zone and think. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Miss Regina, leave that comfort zone and think. Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. Today I'm here with good news. The Ministry of Finance has approved the payment of salary arrears owed to staff of the Ghana Education Service, clearing the way for thousands of teachers to receive several months of outstanding wages. In a statement issued on Monday, April 20th, Ghana Education Service Management said the Controller and Accountant General's Department has been authorized to begin disbursing the arrears to eligible staff. The payments cover the period from August 2024 to November 2025. So the directive follows an official communication reference from the Ministry of Finance, which outlined the approval framework for settling the accumulated salary obligation. The Ghana Education Service indicated that the arrears will be paid in 4 installments to ease the financial burden on the state while ensuring gradual settlement. Under the arrangement, beneficiaries will receive 4 months' worth of arrears in each tranche. Payments are scheduled to begin in May, with subsequent installments to be made in June, July, and August. The approval is expected to bring relief to affected Ghana Education Service staffs while will have awaited month for their salary. It also reflects government's effort to regularize payroll obligations in the education sector, while managing broader public sector wages. So the Ministry of Finance has approved payments of salary arrears to own staffs of Ghana. So in the previous week, yes, we saw teachers aggressively demonstrating because they are working for years and they are not being paid. They've been working for 14 months, according to this aggrieved teachers. They've been working for 14 months, but they've not received salary. And you and I know that the living condition currently in Ghana is very, very hard, very, very difficult. You can't survive without you not working. You can't survive without having the means to get what you want. So in a way, we truly understand these teachers. But you see, this debt is not something that started from this current administration. It started way back from the previous administration. So if you carefully pay attention to what I read, they said they are going to pay their arrears on these teachers from 2024. So it should tell you that since 2024, most of these teachers did not receive their salary. So they are going to start paying them from 2024 before they'll move into the current one. And then they are going to pay them in badges and in bets. Just because we don't want the country to also run into financial crisis. And so they are going to pay them in bits. You receive it bit by bit, and then maybe by the time we realize it, they are done paying the money to this aggrieved teachers. But one thing that keeps coming into my mind or popping into my mind is that why is it so difficult for government to pay public workers? I cannot blame this on current administration because I know it has started from the previous administration. They said they've not been paid for 14 months. So they should tell you that it started way back. It didn't start from this current administration. So this administration needs time to put things in order to pay these people. Because trust me, if care is not taken, we'll end up paying them. And then at the end of the day, we will also run into a ditch. So what we need to do now is to take our time, one step at a time. Now my problem is, why will you employ teachers and you don't pay them? If you know you won't pay them, why do you employ them at the first place? Because I'm not sure you are working on charity purposes. You are working because you need something. You need to cater for yourself. You need that money to run a smooth life. And then during the interview, I saw one lady who was carrying a child, and then she was shedding tears because she has not been paid. And she's struggling to feed herself or cater for herself and cater for her child. They should tell you how devastating this whole issue is. Unemployment is something else. When you are being employed to payment is another issue. These are things that we need to pay attention to as a country and fix it. The first question we should ask ourselves, why do we have a lot of graduates working mercilessly about? Then you bring it on board. How do we solve it? What measures should we put in place? After the measures are being put in place, so why do we employ people and at the end of the day they don't get paid on time? What's happening? How do we solve it? You sit down, you bring out solution, and then we solve it out. And this has become a burden on the government because the MPP government waits till 3 months or to 3 months before they left power, and then they were recruiting people. And so the weight the government is carrying is not easy. It's not easy. Because tell me why you will be in power, and then we had a couple of nurses, a couple of teachers. We have a lot of people demonstrating when the MPP government was in power. But they never heed to their call. And then you waited like 3 months for you to leave power, and then you recruit people. And then when this government came on board, and it was like, see, we need to cut down this number. Some of them are not qualified and all that. The same MPP came out accusing the government that why would you do that? You're employing people. We have a lot of graduated youth working about. Why don't you employ them? Why would you employ them and still need to get some people off? You know fully well that you did a mistake. You did a mistake. And I can boldly tell you that we have graduates that have completed since 2018, 2012, 2019, 2020, and they are not employed. They are still not employed. They are struggling to survive. Not every trader you see at the marketplace. I'm not trying to rubbish somebody's work as not significant enough. Whatever work you find yourself doing, it's good so long as it's genuine. There is nothing like blood sacrifice or whatever it is to get your money. It is genuine. That is it. But not every trader you see at the marketplace that is a trader. Most of them are graduates. I remember back then when I was in school, we went out for reporting and we met this young woman or young lady. She was selling cassava. And then we went to interview her. The way the woman was speaking, even the English she was speaking, like, I was like, wow. And then the conversation got to a point where she said, oh, she completed school, blah, 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 and she was not getting work, so she has to resort in selling something. I was like, look at all this. It is very, very painful. And so with the finance minister approving the total amount of money that will be disbursed and also paid to these teachers, it's a very good one. It's a very good one. We are pleading with our teachers that they should be patient. The government will definitely hit your call. We know, me and me, your shoes. I know it's not that easy, but they are going to pay. I hope that this is not. It's not something faked we are seeing. And I hope that these teachers will be paid, because they said they will start paying them from May. We are hoping that they get their salary in May, because when they don't get it, that will be another wahala. And as usual, the opposition party will take it and then politicize this. But this mistake started from somewhere. We didn't just generate this mistake. It started from somewhere. So I believe that sometimes I just wish that we just do away with politics. We come together as one people and then we fight some canker. But when we don't do that, in a way, how do we expect to see progress? We will not see progress. While others are trying to progress, you are trying to pull them back. That is what we are seeing. And so I know this is going to bring relief, is going to bring motivations to these teachers, and they are eager. May they are we are in 21st. Today is 21st. By next week Friday, we are in May. So roughly by next week Friday, going forward, the teachers will be paid. Mr. President, Mr. Finance Minister, the Ghana Education Service, we are pleading. Just as they've been a release that they will be paid, we are pleading that these people get their money, because trust me, passion will drive you to do what you want to do, and passion will get you moving. But how do you sustain that passion when you are hungry? How do you sustain it? Teachers, they talk, they communicate, they talk. If you don't have the energy, how do you expect them to talk? And talking, as we see it, is a lot of work. A lot goes into it. So you don't expect somebody who is hungry, somebody who have not eaten because he or she didn't receive what he is supposed to get. And then you go to class and you're teaching. You're already a frustrated human being. And so whatever you're teaching that student is out of the box. There is a total difference when you see a teacher that is happy and then he's teaching. It's like it happens like magic. Automatically the students understand whatever you are teaching. But when you come to class frustrated, you are lost, you spoil the mood. The atmosphere is something else. And then it makes it so difficult for this student to capture whatsoever you are trying to relate to them. And that is why we are pleading. This is a good news. We applaud the Minister of Finance. We applaud the President for at least taking a move. But we hope that by the end of May, going forward, we are not going to hear any case again. Even if these teachers will come out to stage a protest, it should be a protest of appreciation, and not a protest to drag the president because what they've promised to get, they didn't get it. And don't forget that in their previous demonstration, they said that they were promised, but on sanka. So we should have it at the back of our mind that when we are in May or when we get to May and these teachers are still not paid, they will still come out to protest. And so please, let's heed to their call. Let's pay them. It's necessary. Passion will here, but you need energy. Passion will not feed you. Passion will not clothe you. But it's good. It will drive you to put yourself into what you are doing. And that will help you achieve something bigger. How do you do it? When what is needed, you don't get it. It makes the work so difficult. So please, let them get their pay on time. Thank you for making time with me on Davis Girl.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that, girl. And thank you, too, for joining us on the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly. And right after the news, we'll be back. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it's just a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the morning news update on GhanaTalks Radio. In today's news highlight, Western Region Chiefs urge government to convert part of Petroleum Hub land payout into equity for future generations. Parent Teachers Association Council expect resolution of 7-month school feeding perishable arrears by the end of today. Communications Minister eyes Zambia's technology model to cut Ghana's power distribution losses. Also coming up, Fuveme community faces ecosystem threat after Gulf of Guinea sand barrier collapse. Anglo Member of Parliament questions use of $150 million World Bank loan as tidal wave relief projects Taos and Volta region. These and many more coming up your way shortly. As government prepares to pay landowners for the petroleum hub, chiefs in the Western region are urging government not to pay all land compensation for the petroleum hub project in cash, but to allocate part as equity in the project. Paramount Chief of Upper Deskov, Obrimpon Himadechi, warned that full cash payments could disadvantage future generations. He made the call as government prepares to raise funds for compensation to landowners affected by the multi-billion-dollar project. The Petroleum Hub project, cited in the Western region, is a flagship government initiative expected to boost and host refineries, petrochemical plants and storage facilities to position Ghana as a major petroleum center in West Africa.
As owners of the land, we are only fiduciaries. We hold the land in trust for the generation yet unborn. We are mere trustees. And indeed, the law requires that don't compulsory acquisition. There ought to be prompt, fair, and adequate compensation paid. However, I'm only advocating that compensation that ought to be paid all must not be in monetary values. When you give the money to pay the chiefs, and we get to use it and the generation yet unborn do not get to benefit. So instead of giving us the entire amount, we advocate that a percentage of it ought to be invested back in the whole business so that we hold shares of equity in the business so that we stand to benefit and the generation yet unborn also stand to benefit. Because if you give us the money, perhaps we may not be able to find anything tangible to do with it, and the money just finishes. But if we invest or we have equity in the whole business, then we intend to enjoy for the entire lifespan of the project. And also in that we've made a passage appeal to the government that Petroleum Hub project is a business which is so dear to the heart of the people and chiefs of the Western region. And this year's budget, we didn't hear anything about it. So we are only advocating that, if it's possible, next year we should see it featuring in the budget. Because when the president came, or when we visited the president and we had discussions with him, he actually indicated to us that the whole project is so passionate about it. So a project of this is which is so passionate and dear to the heart of the president ought to see or feature in the budget. So we are advocating that a budget must be made for this particular project. And next year, when the budget is being made, we should hear something about Petroleum Hub, that there's an allocation specially or specific for the Petroleum Hub.
The National Council of Parents Teacher Association says it expects positive news by the close of today on resolving 7-month outstanding arrears for perishable food funding under the school feeding program. General Secretary of the Council, Gabson Kofi Raphael, disclosed this during a live appearance in an interview. He indicated that engagement with authorities are far advanced and a breakthrough is anticipated. According to him, the delays have placed pressure on the caterers and affected smooth implementation of the program in some schools. However, he expressed optimism of the expected update will bring relief to stakeholders and ensure the program continues to serve students without further disruption.
As I spoke to you, since Friday, when we picked the signals, we've tried to watch this space to look at what will happen from today. The truth of the matter is that the Get Fund Administrator or the Get Fund Secretariat, they are currently in charge of making sure that whether it is perishables or money for perishables, or make sure that there's enough food in the school system to augment and support whatever we need to run the schools. They are purely in charge of it. But the Get Fund Administrator also works under the Minister of Education and at the same time works under the Minister of Finance. When it comes to issues of commitment, authorization, and procurement issues, the Get Fund Administrator, per my checks, takes instructions directly from the Minister of Finance. And you know, these days, the way they've been flagging our public officials when they go to this Parliament, when they go for, what do we call it, a public accounts committee, where they actually, you cannot spend what has not been authorized. So per the checks and per my intel, I think that was where the issue was. But as I speak to you this morning, my further checks reveals that probably by close of day tomorrow, we'll hear good news that that issue has been nipped in the bud. The reason why for about 7 months, they've not been able to give them money for perishables, I think some of the funds per my checks are inherited monies, and then some of them too are what has happened just within this short space. I'm saying that I'm not a small fish in the system. No, I'm just speaking to it. You can check. But I'm saying that probably from tomorrow going, all these issues will be resolved. Because if I'm not supposed to disclose everything I hear, because the meeting was held behind closed doors, and a lot of no media person was there. But I don't know how you also got the information, and you are discussing it at this level. And I'm saying that per my checks and intel I have picked on the ground, it is becoming clear that there are areas that the Get Fund Administrator works with the Minister of Education, and there are also areas that he works with the Minister of Finance. So this is a statement of facts. If you check who gives committee authorization, even when the Minister of Education needs to recruit teachers, he tells us that he has not gotten committee authorization from the Minister of Finance to recruit. So the law about committee authorization lies clearly in the bosom of the Minister of Finance.
Right.
And I'm saying that per my intel, as I speak to you this morning, that issue has almost been resolved. and they're on their way to process the things to make sure that this whole issue that is trying to cause fear and panic and probably which has in a way also created some tension within the space will surely be a thing of the past.
As Ghana continues to grapple with commercial and technical losses and power distribution, Minister for Communication, Technology and Innovation Samonate George says Ghana is looking to learn from Zambia's approach to reducing energy losses and improving efficiency in power distribution. Speaking in an interview, Mr. George noted that Zambia's use of technology to minimize waste and ensure energy is paid for and efficiently utilized as a model worth adopting. He explained that smart systems and digital monitoring can help Zambia cut losses in its power distribution chain, ensuring revenue protection with better service delivery. Ghana, he said, could adopt similar tech-driven solutions to tackle its own challenges with transmission and distribution losses. He added that his ministry is exploring partnerships and knowledge exchange to deploy technology that strengthens accountability in the energy firm.
Now, when you come to an area like mine tech, where Zambia is doing a lot and even dealing with energy, and so President Mahama spoke, I won't be surprised very soon that Honorable John Chinapo will be going to Zambia, because President Mahama said he also wanted our energy minister to go there. How they manage to deal with waste in their energy grid. And you know that that's one of the biggest challenge in Ghana, that we have almost over 30% waste in terms of distribution waste and losses. And so it is in dealing with that, what kind of technology have they deployed to be able to make their grid efficient, such that as much energy they produce, most of it is paid for and utilized by industry. Because as Ghana drives this industrialization today, if you listen to the energy ministry, we are consuming power faster than at any point in our history. So the energy ministry puts in a new 400 megawatts capacity into the market. In less than 6 months, it's swallowed. But the question is, are we actually making optimal utilization of the power, or are we producing so much because there's so much in waste? So for us, those are areas where we need to learn from Zambia and the Zambian experience. And I'm sure, like Honorable Mutati said, even in the conversations, in other areas of AI, of cybersecurity, there are things we will learn from them as we also suggest solutions to them. So it's a learning experience for both countries.
Aquatic ecosystem and livelihoods in Fuveme is under threat after a sand dune breach between the Gulf of Guinea and the Volta River raised fears of severe coastal erosion and ecosystem damage. Assembly member for the area, Raphael Agbanavo, is calling for urgent intervention to protect lives and livelihoods. He warned that the breach has exposed the community to direct wave action from the sea, increasing the risk of flooding and loss of farmland. He appealed to relevant state agencies and climate authorities to act with urgency.
And a Kokoboy intelligence submerged into the sea. As we can see, we are here today granting this interview. That is a Fuvema original. The Fuvema used to exist. But currently there, we are being located to Agopeji. This sandbar that we are granting the interview right now is a sandbar about 2 kilometers stretch from the sea to this portion of the River Volta, which stretch away from here down to Anyami, entry to the Kita Lagoon. Due to the coastal distraction, you could see that the coastline is now almost to the riverside and finally merge with the river. And these are impacted livelihood. Let's not even talk about the properties being destroyed over here. Lives have been lost because during 2021, 3 lives were lost here as the sea entered into the river. So this water body is also providing livelihood for some fishermen who fish on this river. So as we speak, so far the seawater is intruding into this river, their livelihood is also impacted. And fishes that survive in salt water, as the seawater is not entering, they'll be difficult for them to survive again. So actually, the situation is not easy at all. So we are calling on stakeholders, government, NGOs, international bodies, actually to come to our aid, support this project. You see, the only way left for us to go is to protect this land, because the land belongs to the state. Although structures are not here, but that does not mean houses don't used to be here. Houses were once here. Just because of destruction, they have lost them into the sea. So as you are seeing around that, houses or structures are not here, the land itself is a resource which needs to be protected. Behind us, there is a lot of mangroves here, and this mangrove cannot survive in the seawater. And today we are saying that only way we can fight climate change is the mangrove. Here we are, we have a lot of mangrove here, which will actually help us to mitigate the climate impact. So this area actually needs to be protected. So we want government actually to come here and support and protect the remaining land which is left for the Anglo people.
In related news, Member of Parliament for Anglong, Richard Kwame Sepe, has raised concern over delays in implementing the West African Coastal Areas project meant to address tidal wave devastation in the Volta region. Speaking on the issue, Mr. Sepe said despite a $150 million World Bank loan approved in 2023 for the project, very little physical work has been seen on ground. He alleged that a significant portion of the fund has gone into workshops and administrative activities instead of the core coastal protection intervention. The Member of Parliament is urging government to take a decisive action.
The worker money, which is about $150 million, if that money were to be used to reclaim part of the land, it means that the sea waves will be powerless, in quote, that they will not be able to be bashing the land as it is being done now. So the situation is beyond the Assembly's capability, MP's capability. It is only the central government that must come to our aid. Surprisingly, it came to the fore that since this money was raised, no fiscal project has started. You only hear of workshops, meetings here and there. As we are talking now, workshop is ongoing in Eburi, where they have marshaled our people from all those affected districts, and they are being camped in Eburi for 4 days. We were of the view that if anything at all, if there is going to be any meeting at all, the meeting should be held around the enclaves, where the sea is bashing the coastline, so that they will be able to use that as site visit to appreciate the level or the enormity of the problem. So I just want to appeal to the government. Yes, it's my government, it is the people's government, and it's a listening government. But where we have reached now, the chiefs and the people are suffering. It makes us to know that some of the areas like Puvama, Pokpobo, which are no more on the map of Ghana, where the people relocated to, Agokeji, that's the third place that they have relocated to, and still they are under the bash of the sea. Akolo Toko, which is also scheduled or in a way protected, is still receiving its fare.
Local Government Minister Ahmed Ibrahim says all 9,090 assembly members nationwide received monthly allowances of over 1,000 Ghana cedis between April and December 2025. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, Mr. Ibrahim explained that the payment were directed by President John Dramani Mahama and based on an approved 1,300 allowance for each member. He noted that statutory deductions accounted for the final take-home amount, which remain above 1,000 monthly. The minister said the move was part of government's commitment to strengthening decentralization and resourcing local governance structures. He indicated that the allowance is meant to support assembly members in carrying out their duties at the district and community levels. This is the first time assembly members across the country have been placed on a standardized monthly allowance structure. Mr. Ibrahim's remarks were made during a live session detailing update from the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Pay modest allowances to assembly members for over 30-something years since 1988 that we started practicing decentralization. Assembly members were not recognized, they were not respected, they were not motivated. Since one of them became a president of the country, President John Dramani Mahama said every assembly member must be paid an allowance of 1,300 Ghana cedis. And we have 9,090 assembly members in the country. All the 9,090 assembly members were paid 1,300 Ghana cedis. And out of this, it was taxed. So when you take the tax component of it, every assembly was paid an allowance of more than 1,000 Ghana cedis. For all the months in 2025, from April to December, we are now planning to pay the first quarter of 2026. And once the president was able to do it in 2025, in 2026, he will do it.
In business, Car Partnership Ghana says it is in advanced negotiations with the government of Ghana to extend its power purchase agreement beyond September 2027, expressing confidence that discussions will conclude positively. The update was provided by Corporate Communications Manager Sandra Amatika at the end of a media tour of the Ghana's floating power plant at the Second-D Naval Base. The talk comes amid a long-running financial dispute with the Electricity Company of Ghana. Outstanding receivable reported to have exceeded $370 million. Despite this, the company says the payment situation has improved in recent months. Sandra linked the push for an extension to sustain growth in electricity demand. Car Partnership, which has operated in Ghana since 2015 and relocated its Second-D plant in 2019 to take advantage of natural gas resources in the western region, also highlighted the importance of upstream partnership. On social investment, the company pointed to its effort to build local capacity and inclusion. Technical manager for Europe and Africa described Africa as a growing strategic priority. The media tour forms part of the company's periodic transparency engagement, allowing journalists direct access to its facilities, including the vessel's control room. To sports, Ghana's first female world boxing champion, Abigail Corte, has announced that she is now a free agent and seeking a new manager and promoter to guide the next phase of her career. The 29-year-old super bantamweight, who made history in November 2024, revealed in a statement that she is currently without representation despite a holding world title. Corte etched her name into Ghana's sporting history by defeating British opponent to win the Women's International Boxing Federation super title. She became the country's first female world boxing champion and the 11th world title holder overall. However, despite her historic success, Corte has yet to defend her title since winning the belt. The title-winning bout was promoted by Alex Ntiamoa, Chief Executive Officer of Box Office Sports Promotions, but Corte now appears ready to take a new direction as she seeks a team that can match her ambition. In showbiz, the president of the Musician Union of Ghana, Musica, Bessa Simon, and his second vice president, Abena Ruthi, have clarified issues surrounding the union's welfare packages. In an interview with Kwame Dazi, they explained that members who are inactive and have not paid their dues for more than 6 months are not entitled to the full welfare packages. Touching on the 500 Ghana cedis donated at Yao Sapon's 1-week commemoration a few months ago, they said the gospel musician was not a member in good standing. However, on humanitarian ground, they chose to offer support as they've done for several other musicians who are not members of the union. They added that although musical members aged 60 and above are covered by the union's Aging Musician Welfare Fund, Yao Sapon did not qualify because he had not paid his dues for the said number of years. The leadership also addressed reports about 100 Ghana cedis donation at Mamiti West funeral. According to her, she was also a member in good standing, and that said donation did not come from Musica but from a different group, which included a key member of the union's leadership. They stressed that Musica on humanitarian grounds offers support in various ways to musicians who are not in good standing. They noted that as musicians, they sometimes attend funerals and social events of non-members, offering support without being bound by the union's warfare. According to Bisa Simon, although the deceased was not in their records as a registered member, Musica assisted in securing a state-assisted funeral. The federal stated that when a musical member passes, the union donates not less than 5,000 Ghana cedis. The union also has pension and insurance scheme in place to support members in times of need, including death. They therefore encourage musicians and other music-related professionals to register with the union. On Global Update, the youngest son of Zimbabwe's late former leader Robert Mugabe has pleaded guilty to pointing a firearm and illegally being in South Africa. He entered guilty pleas to 2 charges after he was arrested in February following shooting of a 23-year-old man at his house in Johannesburg. The 28-year-old has been held in custody along co-accused Tobias and appeared at Alexandra Magistrate Court on Friday. Lawyers for the men told the court they were prepared to return to their native Zimbabwe at their own expense if they did not receive a custodial sentence. Matozi, 33, pleaded guilty to attempted murder, defeating ends of justice, illegal immigration, and possession of ammunition. Mugabe, who was also previously charged with attempted murder, spoke only to confirm he understood the charges and to enter his pleas. The charge of pointing a gun related to a separate, unrelated incident, but Mugabe agreed to have 2 cases heard together. The National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson told BBC. He said it wasn't initially clear who had shot the 23-year-old man, but after Matozi's attempt it was him, the charges of attempted murder against Mugabe were dropped. Both men were arrested on 19 February after police were called to Mugabe's home in the upmarket Johannesburg suburb. A man believed to be a security guard was taken to hospital in a critical condition after he was shot. Prosecutors previously told the court that the shooting followed a row between 3 men inside the property and that the victim was shot twice in the neck outside as he tried to flee. Authorities who conducted a search of the home have yet to find the gun. Sentencing proceedings have been postponed to 24th April. Since Mugabe's arrest, the case has faced several delays and his bail hearing was postponed twice. This is not the first time Mugabe has had a brush with the law. In 2024, he was arrested for allegedly assaulting a police officer in the Zimbabwe border town. He was given bail, but a warrant for his arrest was later issued after he failed to appear in court, Zimbabwe state-run Herald newspaper reported at the time. A year later, in June, he was again arrested for assaulting a security guard at a mining site, Anas Drive, north of the capital. The case remained ongoing. Bellarmine Mugabe is one of 2 sons of Robert Mugabe, had with his second wife, Grace. The former president, who died in 2019, was in power for 37 years before being ousted in 2017 coup. And that's it on the morning news update. Do well to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalks Radio for more news stories. I am Deborah Adosu. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko nikosi alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adosu,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and as you know it, we come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the main topic for discussion this morning. And as you know it, we are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to log on and join us on the morning show on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Joining me this morning is Mr. Abdul Razak and Mr. Samuel Okai. Abdul Razak, the member of the NPP communications team, and also Mr. Samuel Okai, the NDC regional communications team member. Good morning to you, gentlemen, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Mr. Abdul, we've missed you. Where have you been?
I missed the show too.
Yeah.
You know, I had to excuse myself for exams. And then immediately after the exams, malaria came in.
Oh, sorry.
Charlie.
I hope you're feeling better now.
I'm doing good now.
Right.
As you can see.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, good to be here too.
Mr. Okai, how are you?
I'm fine.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
I miss my brother. Now that you have stated that you are not feeling fine, I will advise you to make good use of the new policy. At least you will be fine. Yes, malaria is included. So go to the hospital. They will take care of you for free.
Free, primary health care has been with us for over a decade now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Which of the policies?
Primary health care has been free since before start.
Oh, are you sure? Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But if you go to hospital with your health insurance card, they charge you.
The only thing I think they don't take is the only thing the NHIS cover for me the last time I visited the hospital was just a card. The rest, the medicine, I had to.
But it's the same thing we're experiencing. Because
but
I think the medicine specifically, they will just prescribe for you to go and buy. So
but they are all in the hospital.
Is it?
They are all in the hospital.
But that's the same thing that we're going to have here. It's
But this one is like the medicines are also free. Yeah.
That is how it's supposed to be. Just that you see, so this is why we have issues.
But the NHIS didn't work that way.
That's a system failure. But the NHIS is supposed to include all of these things. And you see that the government of the day is taking about 20% from the NHIS allocation to do this primary healthcare and stuff. So you see that basically NHIS is at the verge of collapse. Frankly speaking, it's at the verge of collapse.
It's working now, and it's covering certain things.
So a lot of people, anticipated that the government of the day would, look at incorporating this into the NHIS system. Right. All of these that we are seeing is an attempt to, get for themselves a social intervention policy. But doing this, putting another policy at risk is not the way to go.
Right, Mr. Okai, would you agree that it's a system failure?
It's a lie. The NHIS is an insurance policy that you have an insurance with government. That when I am sick and I come, every year I'm contributing this amount of money to government. So when I am sick and I come, government has also agreed to give me selective services. That is the basic understanding of the free national health insurance scheme. That is why when you go to hospital, sometimes you are required to do top-ups and all that. And then in 2024, they implement a policy, the free annual health check. And the argument of the day is that it is the same policy they introduced. That is what has been rebranded by the NDC administration. The free annual health care is the same as the free primary health care, which has been introduced by the president. This thing was a promise way back 2024 that President Mahama says that when he comes, he is going to make sure that some of our basic health requirements will be 100% free. That money shouldn't be a barrier that will prevent you from going to the hospital. Because more often than not, people will be sick. And the attempt to even go to the hospital is a difficult thing. Some don't even have access. That is why the policy has also made mention of expanding our chief compounds infrastructure to ensure that people in deprived communities also get the service to enjoy. So this thing has nothing to do with the National Health Insurance Scheme. My brother can only say that it is an expansion. But you cannot say that entirely it is the same as the free National Health Insurance Scheme. Something free is different from, and at the end of the day, so far as the government has promised that it is free, whether you claim the funds are going to be taken from health insurance or not, the health insurance policy is a business that government and the citizens have entered. Insurance, everything, yes, insurance is business. I contribute every year, but it is not every year that I go to hospital, but every year it is required that I pay. So if government thinks that they can take some amount of money from what they have generated from the health insurance scheme to sponsor the primary free healthcare, I think it is a good thing. But the argument that it is the same as what has been there, or it is a rebranding of the free annual health check. The free annual health check is just a birthday package that the National Health Insurance Scheme want to give to their beneficiaries, their subscribers. But the government of the day is trying to make it look as if it is a policy. What it means is that every year, particularly your birthday, you go to the hospital for a checkup. That is entirely different from what we are seeing. With this new one, it is ensuring that your right to health is achieved to the fullest level. So I beg to differ. I don't agree with my brother if he says that the free primary health care is the same as the National Health Insurance Scheme.
Right.
With this one, you don't even need to provide your National Health Insurance card.
All you need
is to prove that you are a Ghanaian.
Ghana card.
Provided you can prove that you are a Ghanaian, you can enjoy.
I'm not sure my brother got me right. In my submission, I never stated that free primary health care is the same as national health insurance.
No. I was referring to what somebody told me directly.
Yes,
and I added it to yours.
And I'm saying that free primary health care
has been in existence.
It has been in existence.
It has not been there. And if you say it has been there, then it means you are saying it is the old one that has been rebranded. So it's the same thing you are saying.
So you see, the truth of the matter of this whole policy is that under the health insurance scheme, you go to hospital, some selected services are being offered for you for free. Is it not the same with the free primary health care?
No.
There are certain things that are not included in the free primary health care that basically you cannot come under it for treatment to be given to you freely. Right? You cannot say that, and given that health insurance also have some particles of this nature, there's nothing really different.
You see, what you need to understand is that the implementation of the policy begins with detection. That when you are sick, you go to the hospital, they diagnose you, you go through all these processes for free. That is your basic health requirement. Now, you will be required to issue your health insurance if the disease that has been, or the sickness that has been detected, it is outside the provisions of the new policy. But sicknesses like malaria and other things, when it is detected, the policy will take care of you for free, unless it is beyond that parameters before you are required to provide your national health insurance scheme. So the two policies cannot be
There's a difference.
same. There is a difference.
Right, so free primary health care, all you need is your Ghana card, and once you have your Ghana card, you can go to the hospital. It's not, I think they are starting with 150 districts. Yes, so if you fall within that parameter, I think once you have your Ghana card, you can go to the hospital and then seek for medical
CHIPS
attention.
compounds are also included.
Yeah,
Yes,
and seek for
polyclinics.
medical attention. Right. At this juncture, I think we'll be delving straight into our main topic for discussion this morning. As part of our discussion this morning will be from Baumia, Ghana's democratic credentials under attack, and we also have NSS payroll cuts from 1.6 billion Ghana cedis to 700 million Ghana cedis after reforms, and this was reduced after the ghost names were actually cleared. So let's delve into our first topic for discussion. Ghana's democratic credentials under attack. Flag bearer of the new patriotic party, the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, says Ghana's democracy is under threat, accusing the government of intimidating critics. He made the remarks during a meeting with party executives from the Bono region following the arrest of party member Abubakar Yakubu. Dr. Baumia alleged that state institutions are being used to suppress dissent and limit freedom of expression under the government of John Dramani Mahama. He urged party communicators to remain firm, outspoken and focus on facts, adding that intimidation should not silence them. Also present at the meeting was the NPP national organizer Henry Nana Boache, who assured that party members will remain resolute despite what he described as growing pressure. The party also announced plans to stage a demonstration in Sunyani, God willing, tomorrow, 22nd April, themed Yensuro Ehunehunu Demo, to protest what it calls attacks on free speech and democratic values. So this is from Baumia, and this is actually in relation with what happened, I think, somewhere last week when one of their members, Abubakar Yakubu, was actually picked up for certain statements and certain images he actually shared through Facebook. Would you say that Ghana's democracy is under threat, as claimed? Mr. Okany, let me hear from you, please.
Okay. Before I will go on, I would like to extend my greetings to my party people and to all Ghanaians. In my party, I would like to greet the president and the last person in the branch and my constituency executives. They are doing so well. You see, yesterday when I read the topic and I read the full message, I was surprised that when the Dr. Mahmoud Baumia became an advocate of democracy, and it is good if he has changed his mind to now believe in the principles of democracy. we can only commend that. And it is commendable that you call out certain issues when you feel things are not in line with our democratic principles. But the person, the offense the person in question has committed, based on why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is making such a statement, is where I have a problem. When you see people are being attacked for speaking their mind or for criticizing the government, you see, you have the right to criticize, but the criticism must be constructive. Whatever we see, it is the very constitution that defines the foundation of our system of government, that is the democracy, that has given us the right to say what we are saying. But that does not mean we can speak and go overboard. You can't say something that is beyond the boundaries of the constitutional requirement. You see, in 2008, the Parliament House of Ghana enacted the Electronic Communication Act to prevent people from posting stuff using electronic gadgets about people that are untrue. And then in 2023, under the same MPP party, the same MPP government, Parliament then again passed the Misinformation and the Disinformation Act to prevent people from posting stuff or saying stuff about people that are what? Untrue. So the first question before you criticize any state institution for arresting somebody in connection to violating that right is to ask yourself, did the person actually commit the crime? Because we all saw it. This is something that he posted online and he was picked up. And you know, I have a problem. I think the style of arrest is what they don't like. Okay. Maybe the heavy security men is what they don't like. But that is not new in our system. We have been in this country, we have seen series of arrests when people were, arrested and they were locked in car boots.
But is that how the arrest is supposed to be?
We the citizens cannot define how an arrest is supposed to be, because how and the manner to arrest somebody is dependent on the arresting institutions or the police who is going to do the arrest to decide the style they are going to arrest the person.
Right.
Unless my brother can show me any law that describes how somebody must be arrested.
Right.
So if you commit a crime or you commit an offense or you are a suspect and you are arrested and you feel the style of arrest violates your rights in a way, what do you have to do? The court is where you have to go. But to play politics around it and paint a picture to look as if the government of the day is hiding behind security agencies to disturb opposition party is neither here nor there.
No there.
The guy, did he look? If I happen to be the judge in that case, that day, the day you, in fact, I'll call him and I'll jail him that same day. Do you know what he did? You posted something about somebody which was untrue, and you were taken to court. You were remanded. I think after the court, boldly in front of a camera, and he was making noise. He was mentioning JB Dankwe's name, and then in addition he said travesty of justice. The moment you say travesty of justice, then it means you are an innocent person and a judge, you know. But the question is, I don't know. Do we have a law that bans you from posting stuff about people that are untrue? Yes, there is a law. So if the judge based on that law to remand you, instead of you to show remorse and tell the Ghanaian people, those who are not aware of such a law, that look, this law exists, so that we will be guided in whatever we post online. In recent times, one of the things that has become part of our political discussions is dressing maybe my brother to look like you for political expedience. Sometimes you see Honorable Sami Jemfi with a gold suit, meaning where he's working, he will be chopping the gold money. You see, all these things are bad. You are trying to dent somebody's image, and you are creating the impression for people to assume that Honorable Sami Jemfi, working as the head of or the CEO of Gold Board, maybe he's spending money or he's parking the gold into his private property. Meanwhile, you don't have any evidence to establish that fact. So what has brought this picture circulating or circulating people? Sometimes you see a political person and then they will find a naked person and now more than that so now and it is like that. So if you have been arrested, you see, one thing about some of these things is that if you do something, if you do something against me and I feel the thing has violated my right, it is up to me to take it up or not. So the fact that I know MP people, one of the arguments is that NDC funds no more day, no more yebi. Now, no more yebi. Satam namrano ewoho. These two laws that I mentioned, one was enacted in 2008, one was enacted in 2023. Na samra mi nu nyina eden ewoho no mo. Now the onus lie on the person to do a follow up. Say ade anipa ya postify me hono. Enye ne kwan no. But that does not mean say the law is not there.
So does that mean that during the NPP's tenure, it was a choice for them not to pick up the people?
Yes, it was a yes. Me too. One say okay, be family home. Na enye no kra. As to whether I'll take you on or not, it is dependent on me.
So would you agree with me that as at then the security agencies were not doing their job or they were not enforcing the law?
Because somebody must at least trigger. Do you get my point? Mm-hmm. Somebody must trigger, especially when the thing is being committed against somebody. Mm-hmm. You have to what? Trigger the security agencies, and then they will pick it up from there and they will conduct investigations into the matter. Then it will be taken to court. But if you sit down and you don't act on it, it doesn't necessarily mean that when you do the same thing to another person, more no so and act on it. But what I'm trying to establish is that the arrest is also in connection to protecting our democracy. Right. Because why was he arrested? He made statements which legally are untrue.
Right.
And he was picked up. So if we come out, a presidential candidate, an incoming president, and somebody speaks or somebody says something against somebody which is untrue, he's been taken on. The person boldly stood in front of a camera and accused the judge, saying that travesty of justice, meaning assembly and the president cannot see anything wrong with that. The incoming president cannot see anything wrong with that, but rather speaking in connection to arresting their party people, then clearly I'll say that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not a patriotic citizen.
I like that statement.
He is not a patriotic citizen. You understand? Because every presidential candidate is a potential president.
Yes.
So me calling him an incoming president, you can be incoming. In this country, we have heard a lot of people, even when they are contesting, they say they are what? They are incoming. But as to whether you come or not, it depends on we the people who are going to what? Vote based on performance, based on credibility and delivery. Right. We will compare what you did within the period of 8 years from 2017 to 2024 and compare the achievements of President Mahama from 2025 to the time of the end of his tenure in office. And that is where we are going to give you the results you deserve. So we describing your president as an incoming doesn't necessarily mean that his one leg is already in the plaster house, because his records are there and everybody is aware of it. And the current administration too, we can see their records and it is clear out there for everybody to see. So for anybody to assume that the arrest of the guy, is it what is his name? But unless you can prove to me that it is illegal, unless you can prove to me that he didn't post it and he is being arrested, and I am saying it again, we cannot sit here and decide the number of police that they should go and arrest somebody.
Right.
That thing is purely an administrative choice, and they will decide how and manner. Even invite, if you claim it, they can invite him. Invite is not a constitutional guaranteed requirement. Say it is never true. So please, the arrest is in connection to protecting democracy. So I would say that if President, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia feels that whatever he is saying is geared towards protecting democracy, then I also say that he should accept that the arrest is also towards democracy. And if anybody that has been arrested feel his right has been violated during the arrest, the court is there for you to go and seek redress. But don't turn it into a political campaign message for people to assume that your people are being unlawfully tortured.
Right. Mr. Abdul, you see, you haven't been here for quite some time. I'm almost forgetting your name. Mr. Abdul, would you say that arresting these people was actually illegal?
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I extend my sincere greetings to your listeners across the country, yourself and the entire production team. I also extend my greetings to Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, the former Youth and Sports Minister. I mean, the best sports minister we have had so far in the history of this country in terms of purpose and functions. Going into the substantive matter for today, I want to state that we should, first of all, say sorry to President Akufo-Addo. We should first of all applaud President Akufo-Addo. Look, if there was a time in this country... You should
say sorry to him and also applaud
him for his leadership.
Okay.
If there was a time in this country...
But sorry, not to cut you. What are we apologizing for?
We are apologizing because President Akufo-Addo, made sure that Ghana experienced the best of democracy. He made sure that there was free speech without any interruption. Mm-hmm. He made sure that people were not arrested on the, administration or, issuing of their understanding of governance or their opinion in terms of what is going on in the country. He made sure that those things will never happen. And I'm saying that, look, if there was a time that Ghana, experienced the best of democracy at its peak, it is within the period of Akufo-Addo's governance. That is where, look, Ghana has gone past this stage. Mm-hmm. The stage of where people cannot freely express their opinions. The stage of where politicians feel they are so superior, they are so special that you cannot criticize them. The stage of where, politicians use state apparatus to intimidate the opposition members.
Right.
We have gone past that stage. And if you remember, these people came into office based on the things they did to the then government of President Akufo-Addo. And I have a post here by Malik Basintali, the Deputy National Communication of the NDC then. Mm-hmm. He said haram with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's picture holding head of pig. I don't know whether I'm right in mentioning the name. And then beer in his hand. This is the post from Malik Basintali. He was not arrested for making this post.
Why wasn't he arrested?
Because governance is about, and you see, this is even more dangerous than what this guy has done. This is more dangerous. How is this related to politics?
What did Abubakar do?
He posted, I saw that he posted certain things that they arrested him. And even
so
with
the
that
post he made was an LGBT content where we saw the president wearing
exactly. And look at this picture.
Wig.
This picture, Kojo Dynamic. The same post under Akufo-Addo's regime.
And why wasn't he picked up?
He was not arrested because we had a tolerant leader. We had a leader that understands that dealing with problems is much more important than intimidating people.
But would that pass for misinformation?
Yes.
If that would pass, then I think the law wasn't enforced.
So you see, what I'm saying is that if you are supposed to allow for free speech, if you are supposed to, all of these things were done in connection with ensuring that Ghanaians generally, we don't subscribe to the activities of the LGBTQI.
So I think they should have been used as scapegoats.
So this post was to jeer the then government into passing the law and in the end making it enforce it against the activities of the LGBTQI. Today, the same post has been made. This government came into office and they are treating the matter as if it is not important to the Ghanaian people. President John Dramani Mahama stated that LGBTQI is not a priority. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye told us it is not a priority. Something that Honorable Sam George vehemently spoke against on radio station, on TV, to the extent that he went to United Kingdom. Was it United Kingdom? I think so. He stood clear on the grounds of the LGBTQI. He made a submission to the effect that there was no, iota of reasonableness in the activities of the LGBTQI. And then someone makes a post. You are in office over 15 months today. Someone makes a post concerning the same LGBTQI which you promised that you were going to sign. You told us that President Mahama will know no peace from you, Sam George, until he signs the LGBTQI. Right. President Mahama stated that The what's the name of the Christian Council?
That's a Christian Council.
Christian Council. There's another name. He told us that his faith, right, does not subscribe to that. And he made the statement clearly to the clergy. That's what I was trying to mention.
All right, clergy.
He made the statement clear to the clergy that he's not in support of the LGBTQI. Look, when they were about to pass the Gold Board bill, they did it in the night. They waited until the time the Ghanaians were sleeping. They sneaked into parliament and passed it. Seconds. LGBTQI, they are taking more than a year to pass LGBTQI. Something that you can done within a day. Look at what happened with the Gold Board bill. Today you are treating LGBTQI as though it is not a priority. And all the members of the NPP have been targeted. You do not want them to talk. Silencing them, operations, culture of silence. This is not what Ghanaians want. This is not what we voted for. And you know what happened? In the case of this particular issue for which Dr. Baume made a statement, when the prosecution went to court, the court was rather insisting on the prosecution remanding the guy. Meanwhile, the prosecution did not, the police, they didn't establish that they wanted a remand. Then the judge was then telling the prosecution that, the conduct of the investigation might be influenced if the guy is not remanded. Basically, that is clearly against our established laws. Because look, if you go to court, the court will give you what you came to look for. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't come to court and then the court will give you what you did not come to look for from the court. So basically, we have a serious problem. And given that before coming into office, they had made certain statements to the fact that they are coming to balance the judiciary with NDC members. And then upon assumption into office, they made a precedent to that by removing the Chief Justice. By removing the Chief Justice, and a lot of appointments were made to the judiciary.
Right.
Today we are seeing a whole lot of precedent that is, that does not conform with our established laws. Precedent that when it comes to the judiciary, I'm reluctant. I don't want to say certain things because, I'm a law student, so I have a little understanding of some of the things.
Right.
But I know for sure that you don't go to court for a court to give you relief that you do not come to seek for from the court. So what happened? And you remember when Afenyo Maki made those statements? That the judge has turned the law upside down. Clearly, look, there's precedent. So even if you're not a judge, we've seen how things are done. The procedure, how rulings are being made, and how judges handle cases in court. So you cannot come and turn it upside down, and then you don't expect them to talk. Today they are calling for Afenyo Maki to apologize for those statements. Meanwhile, you know very well that what the judge did was wrong. So you see, this is why we believe that there is, a clear, big, serious problem that we are having as a country because democratic principles are being disregarded to, satisfy political, greed. Yes, because look, there's no justification as to why, upon assumption into office, you are trying to criminalize free speech. This amounts to criminalization of free speech. Said that if you come to say anything against the government, you are picked up. Anything against. Meanwhile, this is what you campaigned on and you believe in. You want power with it. Nobody questioned you. Right. We allowed free speech, and that is why I started by stating that Ghana experienced the best of democracy under Akufo-Addo.
Right. So according to the laws of our country, insulting or mocking the president is no longer a specific criminal act. The law that previously criminalized this act, Section 183A of the Criminal Act, Offences Act 1960 at 29, was officially repealed in 2001 by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He said there was no need, he didn't see why they had to criminalize people making speeches. But before 2001, Section 183A made it a crime to publish any defamatory or insulting matter with the intent to bring the president into hated, ridicule, or contempt. So under the criminal code, This specific provision was removed to align national laws with the freedom of speech guarantees in the 1992 Constitution. While the specific insulting the president's law is gone, individuals can still face legal consequences.
So you see, thank you very much for
under
that.
other broader statutes if their speech crosses certain lines, and these are the lines: offensive conduct under section 207 of Act 29, using threatening, abusive or insulting words in a public place with the intent to provoke a breach of the peace remains a misdemeanor. Police sometimes use this charge if an insult leads to public unrest. Threats of death, making direct threats to kill the president or any other person is a second-degree felony under section 75, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. False publication. Publishing false news likely to cause fear and alarm to the public is still a crime under section 208. The Cybersecurity Act and other electronic communications law may apply if the insults are deemed indecent with the intent to humiliate. So this is actually what the law says about.
So you see, given that the government in opposition then now in government, or the party in opposition then now in government, we had Felix Ofosu-Kwakye going to sit on radio to discuss the health status of President Akufo-Addo then.
Mm-hmm.
He told us that he has turned to doctor. He turned himself into a medical doctor, telling us that Akufo-Addo is suffering from all kinds of illness, right? All kinds of illness, and nobody said anything against that. Today,
my question
I saw that there was RTI to Parliament seeking to get an information regarding the travels of the speaker, and the speaker, they failed to give the information regarding the RTI, and the excuse they gave was that, look, that releasing the information of the travels of the speaker would expose the health status of the speaker. That is what they gave. Meanwhile, you had this guy, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, going to sit on TV to talk about the health status of Akufo-Addo, and nothing happened to him.
Why wasn't he picked up? Because it's against the law.
Yes.
This is false.
So we are saying that, look, we are moving on a dangerous trajectory. We are criminalizing free speech such that Ghanaians are becoming timid. They cannot even speak on issues that are bothering them. Today, look, our farmers are crying. Direct your energy to those sectors. Right. There's no demand for their produce. People are crying. Cocoa farmers, as at 2025 October, have not been paid till now. Some cocoa farmers have not been paid. They are crying. That is the serious challenge you should be, thinking of. Not using your power to intimidate the opposition.
Right.
Oh, Charlie.
Mr. Okain, before you come in, I'd actually like to read this. That has to do with some of the people who actually face, how would I say it, similar issues that is happening now. So we have Apia Stadium, who was arrested in 2017 for allegedly claiming that the president smokes marijuana. We also have Oheneba Boama from Power FM, who was arrested in 2020 and later sentenced to 14 years in prison for contempt and offensive conduct. He had allegedly said that the president met with judges to influence an election petition. We also have Apostle Kwabena Owusu-Eje, arrested in 2020 after a viral video where he insulted the president and threatened the Electoral Commission boss. We also have Raphael Okain, a Tau setter, arrested and remanded in 2023 for using defamatory words against the president in a viral video regarding economic hardship. We have Salamatu, who was also a mother. I don't know if you remember that viral video, who was also arrested. She was actually picked up after she complained that, after she made a statement that she wishes the president had actually died due to high cost of living. We also saw instances where SHS students also made certain defamatory comments, or let me say insults, on the president. Those students were actually also picked up, and a whole lot. It goes on and on. we had instances where we saw people also being picked up for demonstrating. I don't know if you remember.
A lot of them.
Sami Jemfi was also picked up. So all of these happening. Is it a tit for tat something?
See, I am surprised that my brother is describing the then Kufuor government as the most tolerating government in the history of Ghana. Maybe at that time he wasn't in Ghana, so he didn't witness some of the things, even including Caleb Kuda and some other people.
Yeah, the journalist.
Swale involved himself in an investigation, and then we saw a party member coming out boldly to threaten and even call the public that when they see him, they should beat him. He is going to pay, and nothing happened till today. That guy is dead. So if my brother is now describing the government that supervised some of these things as the most tolerating government in the history of Ghana, clearly my brother is trying to insult the intelligence of Ghanaians. But the fact of the matter is that all these people who were arrested, the question we need to be asking ourselves is, what they said, which is why they were arrested, were they crimes? Were they actually saying something to defame people or misinforming the public in a way? If yes, why is it that the laws which were applied in those cases, and today we are applying the same laws in similar cases, now politicians are now out to say that the government of the day is using the state institutions to torture their party people? Ask yourself, what did the guy post? Was he defaming somebody? The information he posted, was it true? Has he ever seen those people wearing those things and the earrings before? Which amounts to misinformation and disinformation. Defamatory, yes. You understand? So if all these things have gone on, and then you are not able to speak to the problem, so that the upcoming politicians will learn from it and know that there is a law that prevents people from posting stuff like that about people. But you end up saying the government of the day is rather using the security agencies to torture your party people. Then it means you are telling other people that they are free to do it. It is only when your activities are not favoring a certain political party, that is when you can be arrested. But under normal circumstances, this is not illegal. That is what you are trying to communicate to the public. But I have sat here and categorically stated that you made the law criminalizing those things. In 2008, you made the Electronic Communication Act. What were you doing when you were enacting that law? In 2023, there was another one. What were you doing? What did you think you were doing when you were enacting that law? You were doing those things to protect the same democracy that you are saying we are attacking the credentials of the democracy. Fine. If we don't attack those who are attacking democracy or who are acting contrary to what the democratic laws are saying, then what are we doing? When we say we are protecting free speech, which kind of speech are we protecting?
Exactly.
What they are saying, are they amounting to tarnishing people's image? Are they amounting to making false claims? You have to do that critical thinking analysis and ascertain that indeed what this person is doing, this is what can come out of it. And for that matter, he must be taken on. And like I said, if you think you are not happy with the manner he was arrested, you have the right to complain. But even on that, you said you were a law student. Unless you can prove to me, the law has never specified who should be invited and who should be arrested. You see, we make it look as if it is only a thief who can be arrested. But as for the politician, he must be invited. That is the picture in a lot of people's mind.
Right.
A lot of arrests. People have been arresting people every day. Police have been arresting people every day in this country. You have never complained. But today that they have arrested somebody in your party who has committed a crime, you are now saying we are attacking the credentials of our democracy. But what about those people who have been arrested in the same style, that they were not members of your political party, but you didn't complain? So clearly, the then vice president is he's trying to be a hypocrite, because he supervised some of these things. Koko Anyido, who was arrested for they said he's made a coup, a statement that is in connection to coup, and then this man Ofosu Ampofo, our former national chairman, he was arrested for saying certain things on tape, which they felt it is a threat to national security and all that. He was arrested under heavy security, and you supervise all these things. That one, it wasn't tolerance. That one you called it tolerance. But now that people are saying the same thing, people are posting stuff about people that are untrue, and security agencies are going after them and they are being taken to court so that sanity will be restored in the system, you sit here and say we are hurting the credentials of our democracy. So which kind of democracy should we protect as a country? Should we allow people to be saying stuff about people and go scot-free, all because we want to be tolerant? Hell no. Even on the tangent of tolerance you are talking about, can you confirm? Can you confirm and state emphatically that indeed Akufo-Addo's administration was the most? No. I can mention, and I thank God that all the names you mentioned all happened between 2017 and 2024. Which means under Akufo-Addo, some of the people were even running. People like Manasseh Azure and some other people. Mm-hmm. Some of them were even running out of the country. We have been here when party people can enter into a TV station, radio station, and cause a whole lot of confusion. Meanwhile, the TV station you are going, the radio station you are going to scatter is one of the foundations of freedom of speech. So when you go there and you attack them because you claim they have said something that is against you, your interest, or against whatever you call it, and now today somebody has said it and he's being arrested and he say we are attacking the credentials of our democracy. Right. Then which kind of democracy are we trying to protect? Right. So I please, the guy, what he said, he must be arrested. And it is the police that decides the number of men that they should deploy for operation, not us. So if you think the number of police they deploy to go and arrest that guy were too much, and that is why, or that is what is making you think that the government of the day is trying to hide behind the security agencies to attack your people, then it is untrue. But for all you know, maybe President Mama doesn't even know what you are talking about. Right. Do you understand? It is somebody that the thing is against that the person has triggered and he's being arrested. So you can't blame the government entirely to say that the government is not being tolerant. At the end of the day, what the person said, he said that thing in connection to somebody who is an officer in government. So if the person has arrested, it doesn't mean it is the government that has tried or that is trying to use security agencies to attack people to prevent them from criticizing the administration. No, it was an information posted about somebody that you feel the person is in government and the person has triggered the police to come and arrest somebody. So you can't blame the government for somebody initiating the arrest of somebody who has committed a crime against him or her. Right. So please, we are all protecting democracy and the arrest is geared towards protecting democracy. And if Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and my senior brother here wishes to protect democracy, they should use that thing as an opportunity to advise the youth to desist from posting such stuff, because we have laws preventing those actions. Right. Mr. Abdul, before I come to you, Mr. Okain, during the previous administration, we also saw that some people also created memes around the presidents and other pressing issues we're actually having in this country. And it happens that, is it right to put it that it was a choice of the government not to actually pick up those people, and it due to that, the choice of the individuals involved. Right. So would you say that due to that, because it was condoned, it has continued, and the person happens to have do this as in for a tit for tat, and it has led him to where he is today? You see, when we talk about government is an institution, and a person may be part of that institution. So Mr. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye is part of the institution, which is called government. So if I have done something against Mr. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye and he has triggered my arrest, it doesn't mean it is the government that is after me. As for that one, we have to get it right. We can only say government is after somebody when you say something concerning the administration of the day, and you are being harassed, you are being arrested because you criticize the system. You criticize an action of the government that you feel is not right to you. It's not right. That one, you have the right to complain. But if you go and post something about an individual and you are arrested, you cannot blame the government and say that government is initiating the arrest of our members simply because we are speaking against. No, that statement was not against the administration of the state at the end of the day. It is against somebody. You posted something against somebody that the person feels what you have posted is not true. So I'm taking you on. So you can't blame the government for somebody taking the legal procedure to put somebody on the right path.
I like that statement. You see, Mr. Abdul. Basically, let's get it right. If you post something about somebody that is defamatory, you don't go and arrest the person. Our laws provide that you go and sue in court. That is either slander or libel. Do you understand that? Yes. You go and sue in court, the person will come and defend himself. using state security to arrest the person is persecution, political persecution.
So
this is simply what we are saying.
So who is supposed to pick up the person?
The person who feels that he's been defamed. You go to court, sue. You don't go and pick you sue.
But
right?
This person you're actually talking about is actually the president and also government official, and the responsibility of the police officers is supposed to pick this person when they feel like the statement the person has made.
But government official can sue in his own capacity.
Right.
Yes.
So putting this all aside, President John Dramani Mahama actually decided. You happen to be a legal person, so I think you can explain it better. Putting the government aside and looking at President John Dramani Mahama as an individual or as a personality, and then he has seen this post actually on social media, how would it be like for him to sue that individual?
I said the president can sue in his own capacity as a person and not the president.
And not the president.
Yes. So if I feel that me, Razak here, I'm not okay, somebody defames me, right? And I want to sue the person. Let's say I'm the president. I can sue the person in my own capacity as Razak and not the president.
And not the president. All right. So now let's transition from him being the individual and to him being the president, where he represents the whole country. And looking at what the guy has posted,
if you don't sue the
person, is that not tarnishing the image of Ghana?
I'm saying that defamation has two types: libel and slander. Right? The libel is a written defamation. The slander is spoken words. Right? So if I defame you, by way of libel,
which one is the libel?
The libel is when I write something that is defamatory about you,
right?
In a form of text.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
Or pictures.
Okay.
If I do something like that, you have a right to go and sue me. I will come and defend myself. That's what our law says. You see, you saw when they arrested lawyer Martin Kwebu, he was complaining because OSP felt that he has been defamed. So you go and sue. You don't go. So arresting Martin Kwebu in that instant was using state power to intimidate the man.
So in this case,
he was not using the law.
So in this case, are you saying that the president should, in his own capacity, sue the individual rather than the National Security Agency?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But was that what happened during your tenure?
During our tenure, what happened?
During your tenure, when Apia Stadium made the comments that President John Dramani Mahama is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is smoking marijuana. He was picked up by the police officers. Nana Addo didn't pick him up himself.
Yeah, so I don't have the details of that information.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that if, for example, someone is arrested based on just like the way they did it to lawyer Martin Kwebu, it was clear that the cases are defamatory cases. It was defamation, right? And so basically, OSP should have sued lawyer Martin Kwebu for defamation and not to arrest him. So if you now transition from suing the person in court to using your powers as state official to arrest the person, that is what we are talking about. This is clear case of political persecution. So and it's a threat to our democracy because it silences people from making their opinions known to the Ghanaian people.
Ms. Abdul, don't you think that the police officers are just doing their job? Because as I read earlier, passing false information and anything finding defamatory is actually the police officers to make sure that that law is enforced. And is it not the responsibility of the police officers to make sure that our laws are being enforced?
So you see, you are telling me that if I am defamed, the police officers has a duty to arrest whoever defames me.
Not we are looking at the government, but not you as an individual. I think with you as an individual.
As an individual and a member of the government, if you are defamed, you have a right as a legal personality or a legal person to sue.
So right here, the president should report to the police officers before they act. Is that what you are saying?
I don't get you. I don't get you. What do you mean?
What you are saying is that
the president has a lawyer. He has a legal.
So the president should order for them to come and pick up whoever defames.
No. What I'm saying is that
the
president can instruct his lawyers to sue whoever defames the president in court.
But
in the name of the president.
But the police officers can't get up in their own will to go and pick up that person.
Look, I'm not saying that the police cannot or they can. But what I'm saying is that, what I know, right? Cases of defamation, you don't order for that kind of arrest, you sue the person will have come and open his defense in court. That's what I know.
Mr. Okai.
If there's any contrary information, I'm not aware. But what I know is what I'm saying.
Is that how it works?
You see, my brother is just confused. And he being a lawyer, he should be the best.
I'm not a lawyer, please.
Oh, but you are an incoming lawyer.
Aspiring.
He's
a law student.
Now that a member of the bar.
I see.
I saw Rashid Tanko. He said he was a doctor. GTech said he's not a doctor. So let's get it into proper perspective. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a student of law.
When I have an issue, you are the lawyer. I can easily follow. You see, when you defame somebody, we have a defamatory statement that is targeted at the person's reputation directly. And we have a defamatory statement that is also deceiving the public. When a defamatory statement ends up deceiving the public, it becomes misinformation. Do you get my point? When a defamatory statement is false, it ends up deceiving the public, which is a crime under the Misinformation and Disinformation Act 2023, which was enacted under their administration. So my point is that what the guy said, was it true or false?
Right. So he should provide
Did he do it or not?
Right.
And even when you have been taken to court and the judge has remanded you, must you gather the power simply because you belong to a certain political party to say that this is a complete travesty of justice? Even that action alone, he is still misinforming and disinforming the public again. That is why I said, if I happen to be the judge in that case, I will at that same time I will arrest him and give him another punishment.
Right. So
for saying that, because you have been brought to me and I've judged you because you have misinformed the public. Now you are not telling the public that, look, this is what I did and the judge did that to me. So I beg you, my brothers and sisters, don't go and do it. But you are telling them that travesty of justice, meaning you didn't do it, but the judge has what? Punished you. That is why I'm saying, if I happen to be the judge, the punishment would have been double. And what I expected the MPP people and their leadership to do was to advise the public that, look, we are doing politics, we are protecting our democracy, we have the freedom to, we are young people, and if we have to criticize policies and systems, not defaming people. If I dress my brother to look like what he is actually not, how? No, why put the paper to Obama NDC because of that? Nobody will do that. Right. So if you dress Felix Ofosuka, we have been in this country when the office of the president, you saw LGBTQ lights, no? We have been in this country and it is there. Those pictures are still there at some point in time when government was seriously promoting LGBTQ and president cannot even state his stance. Please, but you are here.
Please.
You are here.
Those were Ghana flag.
Okay, with Ghana. And
how can you say this?
And you missed it.
No, please.
Don't tell lies.
Ghana flag.
Let me finish. And you are here blaming President John Dramani Mahama. Look, I want to put it on record. President Mahama's stance on LGBTQ has always been known. He has stated it times without number that his beliefs does not accept LGBTQ and their activities. So any statement or any communication that is seeking to make the public assume that the president is not ready to sign that bill into law. You see, in 2021, when the bill was initially introduced to Parliament, he was mentioning some judge's name. You see, some judge never criticized the President Akufo-Addo at that time until the bill passed through all the parliamentary stages, and when it was about to go to the president, the bill didn't even get to the president. The president wrote a letter to Parliament that there is an issue pertaining to this bill in court. So don't even bring it to me at all.
Right.
Which to me, it was a clear attempt to swerve signing that bill to become a law.
Right.
And today you are here putting pressure on President John Dramani Mahama. And you have to know, as a legal student, as a law student, you should know that businesses of a previous parliament cannot be automatically taken to a current parliament.
Right.
And that is why it is important that the bill must be reintroduced. And
Mr.
some judge and his team, including some members of your party,
Mr. Abdul will be leaving us shortly, so
bill.
let me give him his last channel of questions, and then I'll be left with just you. Then we can proceed. Right, you are set to hold a demonstration, God willing, tomorrow in Sunyane, and with regards to this issue, Is that the best way to actually address this particular issue?
Exactly, it's the best way to go because look, the intimidation is too much. The political persecution is too much.
I think you've held this demonstration before.
We will do it and do it over again. As
and did it result to anything?
Sure, it's for posterity, right? If it doesn't give us anything today, in the near future, Ghanaians will get to see the reason why we are doing that.
Right.
Yes. So I don't know if I can touch on the last question, the last topic.
The last topic. Let me ask. Your time is almost up.
Oh, let him talk. Let him talk.
I wanted to address something that he made mention.
Okay.
That's after passing the bill bill by Parliament, right? It was sent to the presidency, and the presidency refused to receive it. Look, it's important we are clear that we have a system called separation of powers, right? Separation of powers, where organs of government are, made
allowed to work independently.
You understand? And we have rule of law stating that those various organs of governments are supposed to be independent on their own.
Yes.
Right. So, given that there was an issue in court, and then the bill has been passed, the honest and the right thing to have done at the time was that you allow for the processes to complete in court. Otherwise, if you go ahead to sign the bill into law, disregarding what is happening in court, it would amount to disregarding the powers of the judiciary. So, as at the time, the right thing that President Akufo-Addo at the time did the right thing by waiting on the suit at the court to be
Court.
Yes, to get the judgment on the matter before you can go ahead to say, because look, we have a judiciary that's supposed to work. So if the judiciary is not working, or you are disregarding the powers of the judiciary, what are we doing as a nation? The democracy is not in order.
Right.
So look, finally on that, can I go on?
You want to touch on the last topic? Let me give Mr. Okai 1 minute to actually
he will
answer.
talk more than 1 minute.
No, I promise you. Going forward, how would you expect our political leaders to actually react to the arrest of their members? Because someone may say that seeing Bawumia in the picture with the said man that was actually arrested is going to paint a picture that is Bawumia trying to say that what the guy did was right.
Yes, that is what I have stated.
So going forward, how should these people actually react to these arrests? Mr. Okan, 1 minute so that Mr. Abdul can speak on
just
this
just as it is the aim of every political party to capture power and to steer the affairs of the state, it is also the responsibility of political parties to educate their members and the general public about things that we do not know. That is why I have continually asked that, do we have a law banning such activities? If yes, then how can we say that what the guy did must be supported by a former vice president, if not for political expediency? That is my point. So I think going forward, political leaders, political actors should try to separate politics from matters of legality.
Right. Mr. Abdul, what was Bawumia there to do? I believe you saw him in the picture.
Yes, so
yes.
We believe that...
Was he there to encourage him?
No, we believe that this is merely political persecution. We believe that our members are being targeted unnecessarily. We believe that the government of the day is all out to criminalize free speech, to ensure there is culture of silence so that Ghanaians will not be able to speak. We are not going to succumb to that. We are not going to keep quiet. We will speak as and when we are supposed to.
As and when we are supposed to. Yeah. So as Mr. Okai said, you can criticize without necessarily passing defamatory comments or even insulting. So I'll urge our communicators, and including our youth and to those who normally hold their public opinion on social media, that if you are criticizing the government, know the choice of words you use. In as much as they say freedom of speech, after the speech you make, you determine if indeed you have freedom or not. Right. At this juncture, Mr. Abdul will have to leave us.
Please, I'm sorry, I have to.
Don't worry, it's fine. We'll catch up.
As you are going, you have the freedom to talk. But what will happen after you talking? It is only God who knows.
It's only God who knows. So please be careful out there.
Know what you say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul. Right. We'll be delving into the second topic.
You see, I want to address something. It's unfortunate that my brother is not here. He made mention of the president not signing the bill because of separation of powers and the other organs of government must be allowed to work independently in terms of personnel and function separation of powers by Baron de Montesquieu. Yes, it is true that there should be a complete separation of powers. But the Constitution has also made it clear that when there is a bill before the president to sign and he feels there are reasons which do not allow him to sign, there is a process for him to what? Pass through. And there is nowhere in the Constitution where the Constitution says that when there is a case in court without an injunction order, it automatically prevents the president from assenting to bills. Right. It is never provided in the Constitution like that. So to me, I expected that the president should have waited until the bill comes to him. He will go through, and then the reasons why he feels he cannot assent to it to become a law, he will just state it and then take it back to Parliament, telling them his reasons why he cannot sign the bill to become a law. But for you to sit at your office and then just write a letter to Parliament that don't even bring it to me at all, because there is a matter pertaining to that particular bill in court, so don't bring it to me at all. Over there too, I will say that the president didn't act right, if we have to go strictly by what the Constitution says.
Right. Let's look at our second topic for discussion. NSS payroll cuts from 1.6 billion Ghana cedis to 700 million after reforms. The National Service Authority says it has reduced its annual payroll from about 1.6 billion Ghana cedis to 700 million Ghana cedis after introducing stricter verification systems. The Director General explained that the savings are not due to fewer personnel, but tighter controls to ensure only verified national service members are paid. So according to him, the new system requires every service person to undergo a monthly evaluation, which must be approved by a supervisor before allowances are being processed. So right after this reforms and taking out the ghost names, they arrived at 700 million Ghana cedis, and they are saving about 900 million Ghana cedis, if I'm not mistaken. What does this actually mean to us as a country, saving such a huge amount?
Yeah, what it means is that we are making a progress. We are progressing as a country.
Yes.
Because every day I have been of the view that it is as a result of corruption. That's why we are owing.
Yeah.
Because me, the light I'm using in my house every month, I pay.
You pay.
So when you come and tell me that ECG is owing, I don't really understand. To the extent that I even pay taxes in addition. So if I pay light bill for using the light or for using the power, and I pay taxes in addition, and then you come and tell me that the same system that I am using, I even pay before I use, the same system is owing, to the extent that we have to even go and borrow before we can pay, then automatically corruption is the main reason why we are owing so much as a country.
Yeah.
And it will only be good that all the various institutions embark on such a journey, auditing their systems and establishing robust systems that will prevent some of these things. You see, this national service scandal is not a new story to you and I. It is something that has been in the public domain for a very long time. In fact, since we came to power in 2025, where certain people were arrested. We live in this country, and today I can tell you on authority that Ghana, we are owing more than 600 billion Ghana cedis. And one institution can lose this amount of money to just a few people. But always we are crying, we are always looking for loans to borrow. We are always looking for avenues to tax the ordinary Ghanaian. Meanwhile, institutions that has been established that can make strategic profit, because if you hire somebody today to go and work for you from morning till evening, at least a university graduate, you have to pay the person let's say 2,000 and above. But these national service people, they work, and at the end of the month they take something small that they are serving their country, which means government is making profit from that particular service. So when it happens that the same institution that government has invested in strategically to make profit in one way or the other, the same institution is consuming the money the institution is making, to the point that even the service personnel they sometimes struggle with accommodation. This amount of money, what we have saved, is more than what we have been investing into payment of the people, and in fact the entire institution at the end of the year. And then the students struggle with accommodation issues. Because of that, when it is time for posting, people have to pay extra money to be posted to areas of convenience, areas that will be convenient to them, because their parents are not having the money to get them accommodation and all that. And that same institution is losing huge amount of money to corruption. And we are now seeing correction. Then we can describe it as a progress that we are making. And I will encourage that all the other institutions should embark on such a journey, so that all the monies that are going elsewhere can be seen and put in one coffers, so that government will minimize the rate at which we borrow.
Right.
I thank God that since President Mahama became a president, in fact, he has not gone outside the country to go and borrow. You see, it is shameful that the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who promised the people to protect the public purse, was actually the supervisor of the people who were stealing the public purse. Because if under you, we will spend a huge amount of money in the name of digitalization to ensure that this ghost name system, this ghost name syndrome is eliminated from our systems entirely. And as of 2024, only for a new political party to assume power and then realize that national service alone was having this huge number of people on their system. And then as a result of that, people were taken to court. And as a result of that, it became necessary for them to change their system. And the system has been able to save us this amount of money. Then what about the other institutions that their systems have not been audited?
Sanitized.
Or as in the other institutions that some of these things have not been detected on their systems. What are we supervising? What is going on in those institutions? What was Akufo-Addo's plan when he promised the people that he was coming to protect the public purse? And at a point in time, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said the introduction of the Ghana card, the digitalization system, has actually come to save Ghana a certain amount of money. I've forgotten. He made mention of that the new system that they have acquired, the digitalization, has saved Ghana a certain amount of money. That same digitalization system that you claim has come to clear the ghost name syndrome, and it has started saving Ghanaians some money. And somebody can upload any card, even when the card is not a Ghanaian card. The person can just upload any card on the national service system, and it will just pick, and the person will receive salaries. Clearly, I would say that it was a complete attempt to steal money from Ghana, and I will only commend the current leadership of the National Service Secretariat for doing such a great job, because from what we have heard after the arrest of the leaders of the National Service as an authority, it is clear that some of these monies are going into the private pockets of some people. They just plan, sit down, and then decide on how to do it, and they just do it, and the money goes to their pocket. So we can only commend the new leadership for taking such a bold step and then identifying the loopholes, sealing them, and then at the end of the day, Ghana is making profit out of that.
Right. So what sustainable way can we make sure that this actually doesn't happen again? And to the other institutions also, paying on the government's payroll.
You see, we have to get the right systems in place. If it is digital, we have to get the right digital systems in place. If we claim that today we have graduated from doing things manually and then we are boasting of digitalization, how efficient, how well is the digitalization serving the people of Ghana? Has it come to cost us, or it has come to help us? That is one thing we should think about. So the idea shouldn't only be about we being happy that digitalization, and when people mention digitalization, it looks as if the digitalization has not brought any problem since the time of its introduction. And even with the digitalization, I always have a problem when MPP people say that it was introduced by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That statement is a childish statement. For you to assume that you want somebody to believe that digitalization It's somebody's introduction. Me, every day I've been saying that digitalization is a form of evolution. When the time comes, it is natural. Way back 2003, President Kufuor constructed community-based ICT centers. When you go to Mahia, one is there, a community-based ICT center. That the idea was to train the community people to be technologically inclined, so that we will be able to migrate to the digital platform. So I wonder how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will say that he introduced digitalization in Ghana. But even if he's the one who introduced it, I'll say that, was it introduced to cost the Ghanaian people, or it was introduced to improve efficiency? It was introduced to help us check corruption, just like we are seeing today. Since the digitalization was introduced under the President Akufo-Addo, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, when were they able to come out to state that as a result of we introducing this digital system, we've been able to consistently make this amount of money as a result of we introducing this particular system? No, but the only communication we've been hearing is about the hype on digitalization every day. When you go to Lands Commission today, despite we claim that we are now doing things digitally, you go for a land search, and it will take more than 2 to 3 weeks before you get your results. But digitalization should rather speed up processes. If it is true that Lands Commission has actually graduated to fully digital, I think going for a land search within a day, you should be able to have your results if truly we have actually migrated to digitalization. So when we say we want to improve our systems, what kind of system are we adopting? What kind of systems are we installing in our offices to ensure that all the reasons why we are spending on digitalization, we are able to achieve them? Because if the digital system will not be able to help us to detect some of the loopholes and make profit or make gains, just like we are seeing with the new National Service Authority, what they have come out with, then I'll say that clearly we are just spending money without value for money. And at the end of the day, anything that you buy, any system that you procure, you have to make sure that the reasons for which you procured that system will be materialized. You have to make sure that if you bought the system as a result of preventing corruption, the end of the product, the end use of the product should ensure that corruption is actually prevented. But today, if we have spent money buying systems and another systems are also proving that the old systems were problematic, then how many systems have we installed in the past that are having similar problems, but we haven't been able to check, and we are just sitting down and watching as a country? So I would say that is why we voted, the Ghanaian people voted for the NDC. And NDC is committed to protecting the public purse. We want to borrow Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's words that we want to protect the public purse. And in the course of protecting the public purse, these are some of the things we should be doing. But you see, one problem I have with the current MPP administration is that when somebody is arrested in connection to some of these things, they will come and criticize the style of arrest. An institution that is unable to provide accommodation for personnel can lose this amount of money to private individuals. And when those individuals are arrested, you will say that the government of the day is using the state security agencies to attack your people. Then how do we fight corruption when we say we are fighting corruption? Then how do we ensure that even the digitalization system, let us assume that it was introduced by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, how do we ensure that the Ghanaian people benefit from it? How do we ensure that it produced the results for which we bought these systems? So I will say that I will commend the National Service Secretariat for doing such a good job, and the other institutions should also think of going the same tangent, so that at the end of the day, the digital systems we have spent our money on will save the Ghanaian people some money, and in the end, we will achieve value for money for all the systems we have purchased. Because you go there and you realize that the system, they buy them at high amounts of money. So if a system that has been bought with the taxpayers' money to come and prevent corruption, and that same system is rather promoting corruption, and then now you say you buy it. So I will only commend the National Service Authority for doing such a good job.
Right. Should there be stricter rules or punishment for the people that indulge in such an act? Because it looks like this whole issue of the National Service fraud It's going back and forth, and we are not even seeing the length and breadth of the case.
You see, in Ghana, one thing I've noticed is that we base on the weaknesses of our democracy. We base on the weaknesses of our democracy to protect our bad deeds, especially some of the politicians. That's what we've been doing. There are already punishments for some of these things. Just as somebody will go and steal a goat or somebody's money and a judge will punish them, it is the same thing. Any form of stealing is stealing. But where I have a problem is when somebody is arrested and arraigned for court, the comments that will come out from the supporters of the person becomes a problem. Because at the end of the day, let us assume you are a leader, you are a judge, you are on a matter, and instead of using the laws available to determine as to whether there is a case in the matter or not, and then you hear an opposition voice from the public making you look as if you are being controlled by the government of the day to give a judgment just to favor the government. If you happen to be that judge, how will you feel? And that thing has made we punishing our state offenders very difficult. Right. Because at the end of the day, the judge will even be thinking, 10 years party for Nubeka say it is for political expediency or something. And we've been hearing those comments. People commit crimes, and when they are arrested, they say it is political party orchestration. Do you get my point? So there are already punishment, but we the citizens, regardless the political parties we belong to, if the thing amounts to corruption, it amounts to wastage to the Republic of Ghana, that is what we don't like, and that is why we belong to political parties. We are all trying to tell the Ghanaian people that my party is the best party that can protect the resources of the country so that you will be fine. MPP also believes that his party is what can protect the public resources so that you will be what? Will be fine. So when a party member commits such a crime and the law is dealing with such a person, we the supporters of the people, we have to be measured in what we say and allow the systems to operate. Because we have every system in Ghana here to fight corruption. But ask yourself, why is it that fighting corruption in Ghana is one of the most difficult things? It is even difficult than going to a university and completing. Because you take one criminal case to court and it will take close to 7 years, 8 years, and the matter is still in court. Somebody starts university and at the end of the 4 years, the person has a degree. So why should the criminal case go to court and even spend more than that? I understand that thorough investigations must be done to ascertain the authenticity of the matter. But when it happens that it is keeping too long, at the end of the day, we will leave it and we will not even attend to it again. And we have a lot of similar cases that are in court that we don't even want to talk about them again. So we, the political parties, we should support the state institutions rather than criticizing them. Rather than criticizing them when they take somebody on, so that they will be able to discharge their duties fully. Well, we have the Attorney General, we have Yoku, we have Office of the Special Prosecutor, whose powers recently some has been taken from him. Yes, all these institutions are there to help us fight corruption. And today, we also claim that we have adopted a digital system which will help these institutions to ensure that some of the loopholes are sealed. Now, yet we are fighting corruption from the system. Now, we are still encountering corruption issues. Then, what kind of progress are we making? I support the President Mohammed's idea of resetting Ghana, and any institution, every institution that deserves to be reset must undergo a reset process.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okain. Thank you. We had a very insightful conversation right here in the studios. But before we leave you, your last words, please.
Before I will leave, I will say that my party people, they should keep hopes alive. Yes, some of the party people are not happy. Some of them are complaining. But I will say that the policies of President John Dramani Mahama, if we support the president and he implements his policies, and you are a Ghanaian, you don't even need to become a party member before you get a job to do. When these systems, you see, MPP have always criticized the 24-hour economy, creating the impression that it is just based on announcement, we can just start it. It is not true. If you want to do a 24-hour economy, you should have an ultra-modern transport system. You should have a multimodal transport system. You see, MPP promised to construct railway lines from our southern part to the northern side, and from our eastern to our western part. To today, unless maybe my brother should be here to tell me where they constructed those lines. And you can't have an economy running 24 hours without proper transportation system. It doesn't work like that. You can't have an economy running 24 hours on the clock without having adequate security system. So that policy is a good policy that indeed it will generate a lot of employment opportunities. Because when you are, let us assume you are an Indomie seller. When the system is fully implemented and the demand is there, people are working over all the time. You can extend your selling hours and you are going to what? Make a lot of profit. But today, MPP people are making it look as if all the promises that President John Dramani Mahama, he is unable to what? To fulfill them, and they are allowing themselves to be deceived by those statements that the president at the end of the day is unable to provide employment opportunities to the youth, and some of the young people are complaining. But I would say that we should keep hopes alive. I believe in the policies of the President John Dramani Mahama and the reset agenda, and everything is geared towards youth development, and that's exactly what the reset manifesto is about.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okayan. Thank you to Mr. Razak Abdul, who was here with us, but he has to take care of some other things. Thank you so much to our lovely listeners and viewers as well. We believe that you had a very interactive and a very educative time right here on the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll be meeting same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day.